So this video is for you, my Radiant Dance teacher peeps who are part of the subscribed email list. Thank you so much for trusting me to come flying into your inbox. And of course, if you've actually opened this, I'm deeply honored. And I hope that the content today will make sense to you and that you'll find it really useful. All right, so version A, as we go through the video, you'll see we're just starting in parallel. So of course we'd want to start in parallel for lots of reasons, because thinking of the turnout and working on all of that, I mean, that it just sort of clouds the brain. And by bouncing the ball while we're going plie rise, we're asking our students to do a lot of coordination. And a lot of them, well, they love it because it's a fun challenge, but I will tell you, not everybody's that good at catching and tossing a ball to themselves even. They may not be doing it. They may be dancers. They may just do gym class occasionally, not really have much in the way of ball skills. But I got to tell you, there's so many layers. So let me give you a couple of the layers as to why you might want to try this. First of all, the use of the hands on a ball that makes it curved like this makes me use my hands three-dimensionally. And there's a direct link with the three-dimensionality use of the hand, particularly sort of like the doming of the palm that would be like around a ball, and the use of that happening in the feet. So you are helping them when they're catching and releasing a ball and doing this sort of thing with the ball, their feet naturally learn to do the same thing below without them even thinking about it. Now that's what we really want, or at least I do as a teacher. I don't want my students to always be going brain to body, and thinking. That clouds the doing, and certainly the musicality and artistry. They can't be in the moment if they're always thinking about it. So can we give them things to do? Certainly there's thinking tasks or focus tasks, but that kind of makes a bunch of other great things happen and just wake up as natural functions in the body. So that's what this does. The act of holding a ball, having each finger individualized, doing that also helps to open up the shoulders because the whole rotator cuff gets enlivened. So there's that. So holding a ball, playing with the ball, actually a good thing. I would hold a ball and do a bunch of things just to keep it going, and maybe squeezing and squishing the ball like kind of like a little accordion or something. So that's number one. Handling a ball is not just for gym class or on a field anymore, in my opinion, and what I've studied about the brain and the body and the connection of fingers to shoulder girdle and hands to feet. Number two, it's a full body investment. Okay, full body sense of spring where everything's going. You can really explain to them the idea of what Ballon means, ball-like. And then to me, ball-like means is that it's continuous movement, right? A ball doesn't go down and sit there and then pop up. It keeps moving, And it has compression and rebound, which is just what the spine has. If I let my compression and rebound happen, I get my natural sense of lift up. And that's what we're riding here to lift up onto that rise. And because of the music that I chose, which was just that little bit slower, I chose it. It's a pretty tune, of course, but I chose it so that it would have that sense of rebound and therefore suspension at the top as well, instead of a boom, 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 boom type of tempo. Kind of like working with a 6/8 instead of a 2/4. Okay, so there's the timing, the coordination, the kinetic chain being enlivened. Then the other piece is even just the organizing and the anticipation, right? If I'm bouncing the ball right by me, I have to actually turn my hands enough to direct it straight down. If I push more to the thumbs, which is a common dominant thing that we do, which would relate to pushing with the big toe, which could be part of rolling in, then you might be pushing the ball away from you. Okay, so practicing just by yourself and learning to have pressure with all the fingers equally, it's kind of like teaching a balanced tripod of the foot as well. So there's that. Then, anytime you are so involved in what you're doing, even if you mess up, and you'll see in the video that sometimes the kids miss the ball and have to go get it and come back. When there's that chance to mess up, but you also just keep going, just kind of pick up the ball and keep going, I think it's teaching obviously a lot of resilience and just sort of let it go. You drop the ball, whatever, pick it up, keep going. And also there's this feeling of you can't compare yourself to anybody else. There's such an awareness of how focused you are on what you're doing in order to achieve it, that the judgment and comparison just kind of fades away. And I think once you've experienced that enough with your students, you can even refer to that to go, let's say you're trying the pirouettes and kind of going, nobody's really caring what you do. They're focused on what they're doing. So just be in your body, not looking outside of yourself to see how you compare within the group. Okay, now that may be different if you're doing pirouettes across the floor and people are waiting, So if you've got a group that really compares against each other, maybe do more group activities where the comparison doesn't have a chance to flourish. Okay, that's another piece. Then the next one would be when we go to the, sorry, if I'm just thinking still of the going right where they were on their own, okay, you'll notice in version A. In version A, you'll notice the girls were doing our most basic version. And of course, they were looking down a lot. They were using their eyes in order to help the bounce and the catch, which also meant they weren't on vertical with their head down. So in version B that you'll see, I've asked them to trust not just their peripheral vision at the sides, but the peripheral vision along the horizontal, like down here, to be able to toss and catch the ball. And therefore have their head up, and therefore the vertical can actually go all the way through to the top of the head. Kind of an important piece. So notice the difference between A and then B. And they managed B just fine and got to have a win. Oh, I didn't realize how much I was looking down. Yes, I was. Oh, I don't need to. And then still success is a good win. So sometimes it can be nice just to give your students an opportunity to make a change that has a win. But of course, this idea of, well, actually, we want full body leading with the top of the head. You could talk about that and they could feel the difference between the weight of the head forward or perched on top. That's a nice fun way to work on it and say, well, a ball doesn't go down and up and over, down and up and over. It goes down and up. It works with gravity. Are you working with gravity? Another piece here, by doing this with music, of course, it's dance class. You're going to do it with music, but you are doing it with music where you're anticipating, that downbeat is when the ball hits down, and even the sound of the ball would be on the beat. And then conversely, they're catching it on a beat. Now that seems all easy, but if you were to play with the songs, you could see that actually now I'm measuring my force and pressure in order to do it in time with the music. So lighter force or stronger force, maybe I've got to make it go faster. That's all learning to kind of put our force, our muscle force. Right now, you could say it's just to the arms, but you're learning to do that in the whole body. And that translates to obviously many things in dance, putting our ability to dial the force up or down. The next one, so that's sort of A and B. The next one, when we are doing it with partners, there's the engagement of being with a partner. There's the connecting to them. You could add the bonus of, okay, we're not looking at it, right? Just we achieved that in B. So can we keep looking at our partner in our eyes? How long can it, not like a staring game, but how long can you stay connected to your partner while doing this? And that can be really fun. There's also a real spatial element. So in a timing one, just by myself, I'm working on the anticipation and the force and pressure. Now, when I'm with a partner, I'm doing a spatial decision of my force and pressure and the angle for it to go down and then up kind of, so I'm making it in the middle, right? And that is a spatial perception game that obviously we dancers need when it comes to traveling and dancing as a group. So it works for that. Now, version D, let's go into a circle. We'll do the easy version of being in a circle first, meaning that we know what's coming. We're going to do it clockwise, and then we'll do it counterclockwise. And so you always know when it's your turn. So you're anticipating for your turn, and you're stepping in with your turn and keeping it in time. That in itself is a skill that maybe the 8-year-olds just stay there. Then the next challenge was everybody's watching, everybody's alert, everybody's staying focused and engaged consistently, because you never know when the ball's coming to you. Now, keep in mind, when you're taking it, whether you are random or in order, they're rising and lowering and suspending in a vertical line through the lower body, but they are twisting in the upper body to be able to catch and then turn it. So I'm getting what I need for some epaulement with stable hips. So it's actually still kind of a big skill. The next layer up. Now let's do it turned out. Now I could do it in first, which is what you see here, where the stabilization of the pelvis is even more important, because if it twists, of course, we're victimizing our knees there. So we add our turnout, still have the rotations. You're going to find the opportunity then to work more on the stabilization of the rotators, that it's not just about turnout, it's about them like little power jets stabilizing, if you're really getting the time to feel them as part of the sending yourself up to suspend there. Now you could also then do, for say younger kids, a second position, so it's a wider base that could support them too. Then of course you could do a third position, a fourth position, a fifth position, both sides, of course. That works the hips in a whole different way. What is it like for me to twist over my front leg and forth and then go away from it? They feel quite different. Okay, so you get to work on all of that, which is all about, therefore, core connection. Yay. And they're having fun and bouncing, and they're doing way more plie rise than if you just said, let's go to the bar and do 16 rises or even 32 rises. This group did this exercise, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes they were going plie rise. It's amazing for stamina, but because there's all these layers and it's engagement and it's fun and it's different, the repetition of it that builds the strength we want was kind of a non-issue for them. They didn't think anything of it. I'm sure their calves were burning, but it wasn't kind of even on their radar screen. And also there was the goal of, I want to get the next level. So even if my legs are tired, you've given me that carrot, that goal of wanting to get the next level. So I'm doing it anyway, which is different than just the mentality of suck it up and do it, right? Which I do think we need some of the time. I do. But a balance of those, put the fun into it, put the engagement, and put in, like, feel like you're putting into the pot so many different elements, all about the coordination and the musicality, the spatial, the social, the stamina. It's all mixed in. Okay, now the final one that we did, which we were kind of running out of time on, and I don't know if they would have been ready for it, and also they're getting fatigued, would be to go plie and rise on one leg, plie and rise on one leg, plie and rise on one leg. Okay, so we're getting the balance and that weight shift. Now you could also, for older dancers, maybe less fatigued dancers, repeat just fondue and rise on one leg. Maybe I do 2 on one leg, 2 on the other, or I do 4 or 8 on one leg before I switch. Your choice. You can give that challenge to your dancers. You could have them alternate legs as they see fit. So they're starting to notice, do I favor my right? Do I favor my left? When I lose my balance, do I always lose it to stay more on the same side, or do I always lose it and fall to the other side? It could be kind of a diagnostic thing along with the fun. Okay, and of course I can do the turnout version, the first to the second to third, fourth, fifth, and onto the one legs. I could do all of that, of course, on my own. The circle just adds the added element of the rotation and the engagement with each other. So those are all the progressions for now. You could work on this for 5 minutes every class for like 2 months and have a new progression every time. So that's my explanation on how great this stuff is. Just checking my notes, making sure I got everything. Yeah, my last little thing I just want to say is, when you're in the circle, what I noticed is everybody was feeling so much like a team that if a student dropped the ball, it's like there was no judgment. There was an immediate forgiveness of just, we want to get back to it. And therefore they were right at it. And I know it's not filmed for you to see, but I know that even younger kids, you know, where you have that kid who likes to be the center of attention and take time doing something, and, you know, we're always waiting for them to stand up or them to be quiet in the corner or whatever. I think this one, with that sort of the game of it, of everybody wanting it to keep going, and if you drop it, pick it up and get back. We don't want to wait for you. Whether it was ever verbalized, I think it could be a tacit thing from the rest of the group that's just kind of going, we don't have time for your shenanigans. We're part of a group, get on with it. So I would even suggest doing a game like this if you've got some behavioral issues with just 1 or 2 kids who are always trying to suck the attention of the class in a negative attention way. I think it can be useful for that too. So that is now my last note for you. Thank you for watching right to the end here. I really look forward to any comments that you have and feedback that you have, especially when you get out there and use it. Okay, that's it for now. To my fellow Radiant Dance teachers, enjoy, have fun. Bye-bye.